For the one is here again. Yeah, today we're gonna do some stuff. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Okay, seems like she's ready for it. Here we go. Bam! Today we're gonna dive right into the computer and we're gonna make some CG stuff, okay? Start very simple. We're gonna make 3D text, extrude that text, add some textures to that text, add some lighting on that text, and then render it out and hopefully get something that looks half decent. You can start making your awesome movie titles. As you can see, Poppy's really excited about it.
The fuck you are about, mate?
And so is Gavin, also very excited. Let's dive right in.
Let us make some 3D titles, shall we? Okay, let's do it then. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is open up Blender. I'm using 2.79, delete everything in the scene, and add some text, rotate it 90 degrees along the x-axis. As soon as you're done with that, you wanna hit tab, rename your text to your liking. As soon as you have your name, you wanna hit the text tab, you wanna change your font into something a bit more pleasant, okay? As soon as you have that done, we'll start messing around with the geometry of the text. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna extrude the text to add more thickness to the text. And we're gonna bevel the text to add more depth and add some resolution to the text, all right? And one thing I like to do is to duplicate the text and put it on a separate layer in case I need to go back to it or make some tweaks or do something else. Or in case I fuck this shit up or I mess up, okay? So you wanna hit Alt-C, convert the text into a mesh. And now when you hit tab, you see we can't change the text anymore. It's engraved. We can't do anything. Okay, and you control left, you go to this compositing tab and you want to unwrap, but I later realized it wasn't necessary. You could just use box mapping, all right? So you want to add a material, change the diffuse into the principal shader and add an image texture. Open up your textures and add a texture to your liking. I'm using a metallic texture. And after that, you want to add some lighting to better see your material. And I've realized with a lot of reflective materials, you actually want to start with your environment map because you first want to see your reflections and then add more lighting to accent the object or the material basically, okay? And now we hit Shift Z to preview our material. And as we can see, it looks a little bit too smooth to be metal. So we want to mess around with that and break that up a bit. And I like using the color ramp. I'm going to plug my image texture into the color ramp. And I'm gonna hit Control Shift and click on my color ramp to preview it. As you can see, when I mess with the overall roughness, it roughens the whole material. Okay, so I'm bumping up the metallic because I'm making with the metallic material. So the roughness works overall, and that's not what we want. We want some parts to be reflective and some parts to be rough, and that's why we're using the color ramp to break up that reflectivity. Okay, and next I'm adding a bump node to break up the smoothness of the object and of the material. Right, because right now it looks a little bit too smooth, so the bumpness just adds a little bit of bump. Okay, and I'm upping my environment texture to get a better view, okay, because it's a little bit too dark. And I'm changing my color management into the filmic to get more accurate tones and values, or more photorealistic ones, okay? And I'm making a couple more tweaks again to the material to like something that I sort of like or I don't hate as much. All right, while working on this, I realized there's something wrong with the shading. So I added an edge split modifier, and as you can see, I'm going to switch it on and off just to show you what I'm talking about. And even with the preview, you can see that with and without, it just had that weird look, and then with the edge split, it looks more bearable, okay? I'm gonna switch back to my default view, add a camera, start working on my composition, and then I'm adding my lighting back. And in this case, I'm using a sun lamp or a sunlight or a sun, and I'm tweaking the direction of the sun to get something a bit more accented. And I ended up switching the material and the texture and just going for something a little different, which I felt worked a little bit better. So there's no one size fits all, it's really preference. And then after that I added a secondary camera, something a bit more zoomed in, more telephoto, to get a different feel of the text. So I added an empty and I selected as my point of focus, select my aperture as the f-stop, and I lower my f-stop to get a shadow depth. And now I can move my empty around to choose the point of focus where the camera's focused on, and every other part is blurred out to get that real sexy shadow depth. Okay, alright, so I hit a render, but I ended up going back to my wide angle because I wanted to see the whole title, added some titles as well. And then after that, as soon as the render's done, I hit F3, save it out, and then I'm gonna open up Photoshop, open up the image I just saved out, and I'm gonna start adding some background textures, doing some tweaks, doing whatever you feel like till it looks half decent, or some sexy ass 3D titles. And you can also do the same thing in After Effects and add some movement, add some particles, add some dust. I just did it with Photoshop as a still image because, well, it took less time to do. But yeah, you can do this anyway, and I hope you found this useful. I know I had to rush through certain things, but I just wanted to give you the general overview of how to approach 3D titles. I use Blender, well, because I can't afford any other thing, but you can apply the same thing with whatever 3D software that you use. Just, you know, apply the same principles. Then if you can take this concept and apply it somewhere else, or just do it with your own stuff, your own titles, then I believe you can actually learn something from there. But yeah, thanks a lot for checking this out. Like if you found this useful, subscribe if you didn't. Subscribe anyway. Yeah, I'll check you on the next one. Let me know what else you'd like to learn, or what else you'd like, you know, my 2 cents on. I'm no pro at this stuff. I just do it for fun and because I'm bored most of the time. Yeah, anyway, so take this with a grain of salt, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Oh man, I gotta come up with a better outro. Let me think. Wait a minute. Oh. Bye. No. I'm out. Be gone, scoundrel.